First Alert Weather Extra. It's a First Alert weather day for the threat of isolated flooding. We're on your side with how much rain we're expecting and how much we've already seen.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
Well, welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan here with meteorologist Matt Daniel up past his bedtime.
Pretty much. It feels like it sometimes, but hey, it's great to be here. And you know, the advantage of working on the evenings, we get the view outside here on Red Mountain. We're seeing these storms everywhere, hearing some thunder too.
Yeah, you know, we have great views here on Red Mountain. Not to brag, but we're facing to the north, so we can see those storms coming in from the west. Today, they're really coming in from the south. But yeah, Matt, you know, it's a First Alert weather day. We've had that pesky upper level low that's still bringing us some nuisance rain and storms.
Yeah, and you just never know. We get a lot of heavy rain in a short period of time. Flooding, and that's the main reason why we got that First Alert weather day for today.
Exactly. So we're actually tracking some showers right now. Let's tune in to First Alert AccuTrack. Actually showing you this picture first, a live view on our First Alert Sky Vision from Nectar. I've always said if I'm going to retire somewhere around here, maybe Nectar, because this sky cam always looks so cozy and inviting. We've been seeing some downpours around the area, but we're beginning to get some heavier rain moving into the Birmingham metro. Wow, Matt, look at that picture. Really cool shot here from atop Red Mountain. You can see those heavy downpours coming across the Magic City. And of course, if you have any cool photos, if you can take them safely, you can send those in to us on the First Alert weather app. So our main concern as these scattered storms move into Birmingham, we're continuing to see scattered showers and storms coming in from the south, rotating on the east side of that upper level low. Our main concern is going to be that flooding threat, which is why we do have a First Alert weather day in place. So you can see north of Acton, that's where we're seeing some of that heaviest rain falling, some torrential downpours right along 459. This is just to the south, or really stretching up to Highland School and Irondale. And then you can see, as we just saw on our sky cam, that heavy rain is moving right across I-20. So this is going to be making for some treacherous travel as these heavy downpours really reduce visibility as they come through Birmingham. A first alert for Fultondale, possibly up to Trussville, seeing this rain moving northward and possibly up to Colberg as well. And then a little further to the west in Jefferson County and into Walker County, you can see some showers along I-22 and Cordova, and then some heavier downpours falling to the east of Alliance. This is going to be lifting over I-22, Dora, Sipsey. You're next in line for seeing some of this heavy rain. Also a heavier rain shower near Gardendale. As we look in West Alabama, we've got some heavy downpours falling along I-22, lifting north from Carbon Hill. It looks like this is moving in right along Highway 13, where you could be getting a few showers. And this will be moving north towards Glen Mary, lifting towards Highway 238 or 278 Double Springs. You could be seeing some showers here in a bit. And then also a couple of showers across East Alabama, moving from Calhoun County, Gadsden, Jacksonville, seeing a few downpours. We're also watching some more storms developing to the south. Areas like Marion along Highway 5, stretching up to Centerville, also seeing a few downpours. So we'll continue to track these scattered showers and storms as we go into the evening, but we're not done. As we look at those weather headlines for the week ahead, we do have a first alert for more rain and storms on Tuesday, and then that heat is going to be building back in midweek. This cloudy pattern we've been in and the wet pattern with that upper level low, it's helped to keep temperatures down, but eventually things are going to be changing and we're going to flip the switch to some heat back in the forecast. Possibly even some storms going into next weekend, but hey, download the First Alert weather app through the code on your screen. You scan that code, you'll be able to get the latest on today's First Alert weather day and get real-time updates for your exact location. Well, meteorologist Megan Thomas joins us now with a look at just how much rain we got over the past 24 hours and where we currently stand for the month of May.
When we say scattered showers, this is what we mean. Some pick up nothing, others pick up a good amount of rain. I want to focus in on some of our incredible weather watchers. These are reports from the last 24 hours. Tommy Stallings up in Cherokee County saw absolutely no rain at his location, whereas in Jemison, you saw 1.61 inches reported at our friend Lynn Hall's house. And then, of course, Northport, Bud Bean, 0.83 inches. In Piedmont, in the northeastern corner of the state, saw a little over a half an inch at 0.62. And then Coker, back in Tuscaloosa County, Ronald Hughes, 0.13. And then in Lamar County, the western half of the state, saw a little over 0.3 of an inch from Tony McDonald. So, yes, scattered showers, and that's what we mean. picking up random amounts of rain. Now, over the next 7 days, we're anticipating probably a good inch to maybe inch and a quarter, up to 2 inches of rain in spots. But look at these totals for May already. Tuscaloosa put the average to shame. Almost 9.5 inches of rain reported in the month of May so far for T-Town. Birmingham, your average is 4.91 inches, and you've picked up 5.5 inches. The good thing is with this amount of rain, which means it is added to our bucket. So the drought, and when we head into those drought months, this will come in handy. So we're expecting more scattered storms in through Tuesday and maybe even into Wednesday. We'll have much more on that forecast throughout the rest of Weather Extra.
And yeah, those are definitely some high totals, but we are far from the end of the month of May. So where do we rank overall in the grand scheme of things? Meteorologist Matt Daniel, what you got for us looking at that weather climatology?
Well, a big reason why we have the First Alert Weather Day is all the rain we've seen over the weekend. So if you missed it over the weekend, Saturday, Tuscaloosa had a lot of rain fall within 24 hours. We're talking about almost 4 inches of rain, and it actually broke a daily record back on May 10th. The old record was 3 inches back in 1976. So very impressive stuff there. And here's a new update. We just got the latest climatology for this afternoon. So these are the new updated totals now for Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and Anniston. And we've surpassed the monthly amount of rain we would typically see here in the month of May in Birmingham. So typically we'll pick up about 5 inches. We're over 6 inches at the moment. And Tuscaloosa, it's just hard not to see that particular number. 9.5 inches of rain has already fallen. So I've done a little research. Gotta love some stats. And we're looking at 9.5 inches of rain for Tuscaloosa. We're getting close to tripling that amount for the month of May. And we're not even halfway to the month of May. So here's the record. 1976 is the wettest May on record, when we recorded over 11 inches of rain. Right now is the second wettest May on record for Tuscaloosa. So could we possibly have the wettest May on record? It is very possible. Can't rule it out. For Birmingham, right now we're not in the top 5, but we're trying to get close to it. Number 5 was back in 1983 with over 9.5 inches of rain. The wettest May on record for Birmingham was in 2003, over 17 inches of rainfall then. And for Anniston, right now you've picked up over 5 inches, which is already above that average. And it looks like your number 1 wettest May on record was back in 2003 with 11.5 inches of rain. So you got some time to go if you want to surpass those kind of numbers. Of course, if we get a lot of rain like that, flooding becomes a major issue. So we'll continue to watch this over the next several days as this pattern remains somewhat unsettled, especially as we go into the weekend. Now over in West Alabama, we're showing you how neighbors are preparing by watching for rain-soaked trees and rising rivers. Centerville's mayor telling us they had a lot of rain overnight, and it's on top of what's fallen over the past few days. Your Bibb County reporter, Brian Henry, joins us after checking in on the flooding threat.
The Cahaba River is swollen, swiftly running its course through town, and even flooding some of the low-lying areas in Centerville.
I know last night it got a little bit rough and we were woken up by the rain.
Heather Owens heard the hard rain last night and knows what's going on with the Cahaba.
You can see now where...
But Centerville Mayor Mike Oakley says neighbors like Owens shouldn't worry. The reason?
Years ago, the Corps of Engineers cleared out down near the Alabama River, and it seems to go down quicker.
In other words, it is highly unlikely Centerville will see a repeat of what happened in 1961 when the river reached a crest of more than 35 feet, enough to flood the local high school football field. Still,
Brian, but having a river running through your town, there's always the danger and the thought of flooding issues.
The more immediate concern is waterlogged trees. You'll recall more than a year ago, Raymond Howard died when a tree limb fell on him at his home after heavy rains. The mayor said at the time there was no doubt Howard's death was weather-related. Raymond Howard was 64.
Earlier, we have a lot of old trees here in our town. The more rain, the more saturated the ground gets.
Heather Owens remembers that story well.
But the community as a whole, I think we all are worried about, trees falling on our home or on our loved ones or on our children.
Something Heather Owens thinks about on a walk through town. But Mayor Mike Oakley...
And there's always a danger, always a danger.
It is a danger to be mindful of as nature has its way. Your reporter in Centerville, Brian Henry, WBRC 6 News. on your side.
Well, in 30 seconds, we talk about how you can stay safe in the event of a flooded roads. Plus, we're bringing the first alert for building heat as we close out the week. We'll be right back.
So pretty.
All right, welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra, and we were giving you the first alert for building heat this upcoming week. So I hope you're enjoying the 60s and 70s. I know I am. Stepping outside feels pretty good, assuming it's not raining. 75 tomorrow, but we're going to be in the mid 80s Wednesday and mid upper 80s. So we're going to be well above average. Typically, we should see highs in the lower 80s. So one thing that we're watching is the humidity levels. After this rain moves through, the humidity sticking around. In fact, those dew points are climbing, could be in the low 70s by Friday and Saturday. That is summertime yuck. It's really muggy outside. And when you factor in the humidity and temperatures in the upper 80s, you're going to be sweating, that's for sure. In fact, we're going to start looking at those heat index values, maybe climbing to low to mid 90s. Not heat advisory criteria by any means, but it's been a while since we've had to deal with heat and humidity. So if you have to work outside, especially Thursday and Friday, I want to give you that first alert. Stay hydrated and take some breaks. Lauren?
Well, Matt, we always want to make sure that you all are staying safe during flooding. Now, not everyone right now is seeing scattered showers and storms. You can see in Lake Tuscaloosa, actually a beautiful view on our First Alert Sky Vision, seeing some of that sunshine breaking through, but a very different story in Gardendale, where we're seeing some very heavy downpours that are falling. Those are those storms that we are tracking moving through eastern Jefferson County. So why are we having a First Alert Weather Day in the first place? Well, we said it's because of that isolated flood threat, but why is flooding such a big deal? Well, you don't want to cross a flooded road because you never know just how deep that water is. And if you recall, during tropical season, as we get into hurricane season, we say with tropical systems, you can hide from the wind, but you want to run from the water, because water is one of the most powerful resources Mother Nature has at her disposal. So when you are encountering a flooded roadway, your vehicle could easily stall out if you get stuck in the flooding, and there is the possibility that you might need to be water rescued. So you're not only putting yourself in danger, you're also putting in danger the person who could try to be rescuing you. And there's always that possibility that because flooding is so dangerous, it could easily turn into a life-threatening situation. So I know we repeat it all the time and it may get annoying. Too bad. We're going to keep saying it. If you encounter a flooded roadway, turn around. Don't drown. It's just not worth it. But for those of you on the road tonight, this is also a reminder that the wet roads can create issues when you're behind the wheel. According to AAA, wet pavement causes nearly 1.2 million crashes every year. Experts say double checking your wipers, tires, and lights can help keep you safe. Drivers are also urged to slow down, not use cruise control, and leave extra room between vehicles. If your car starts to skid, Clay Ingram recommends staying calm and steering in the direction you want to go.
It's just human nature and a natural reaction if you start to lose control of the vehicle to hit the brakes real quick. And that's the worst thing you can do. So you don't ever want to do that. You've got to fight your instincts on that and just take your foot off the gas, let the vehicle slow down kind of naturally, and then look and steer in the direction you want to go.
Ingram goes on to say the importance of maintaining your car before it rains, and stresses that if you can avoid driving in it, that's certainly your best bet. While still ahead, we continue to talk about the wet weather in store again for your Tuesday and bring you tips on how to enjoy the warm season ahead. We'll be right back.
All right, we continue this first alert weather day for the chance for isolated flooding. We could see additional scattered showers and storms tomorrow. And then as the rain moves out, the heat's going to return. We're looking at 80s likely Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then we might maybe watching some disturbances up to the north and west, giving us a threat for some stronger storms over the weekend. The timing, though, still too early to call. More on that coming up shortly. Right now, we're still tracking lots of rain out there on First Alert AccuTrack. Not everybody's seeing rain. This is what we define as scattered. So, you know, some areas staying dry, others getting a lot of rain in a short period of time. And one of those areas is northern portions of Jefferson County. The heaviest rain is now north of downtown Birmingham, but Fultondale, yeah, you're getting that. First alert for Gardendale as well. You're going to get some of that heavy rain. Once again, this is all moving from south to the north. And in fact, we've got this little green polygon that you see, that's an aerial flood advisory out for parts of Jefferson County. Just noting, you know, those streams, areas could see a little bit of minor flooding, but we've already picked up at least over 1 inch of rainfall, especially on the east side of Birmingham and parts of Jefferson County down into northern portions of Shelby County. Still tracking a few scattered showers here in Marion, Winston. Once again, first alert for you, Haleyville. You may end up with some rain in the next 30 minutes and more showers near Marion. And if this holds together, we'll likely see some of that rain make its way into the western portions of Bibb County and maybe eastern Tuscaloosa within the next hour, and some spotty showers there in Pickens County. Thankfully, no warnings and no flash flood warnings, but this low is stubborn, moving a lot of moisture in from the Gulf, and we're looking at that rain likely going to continue into tomorrow as that low just kind of stalls in place. So I do believe the rain should start to taper off as the sun sets. Just a few showers possible overnight into tomorrow morning. Make sure you tune in to Good Day Alabama. Megan and Mickey will have more updates. We may start out in the upper 50s, lower 60s tomorrow morning, and then we'll have to see if with the heating, some additional scattered showers and a few storms possible moving from west to east. So we'll watch to see maybe a low end threat for some flooding, but right now the concern looks pretty low. Tomorrow, if you're heading out the door, we're looking at those temperatures warming up into the mid 70s. Of course, if you want to do some yard work, you might be able to do so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but the weekend, got some questions for it because we're looking at maybe some severe weather. Now, Thursday, there's severe weather to the north, and then that severe threat shifts towards the south into Tennessee, and some of that strong weather could maybe impact parts of North Alabama Friday night into Saturday. And that's the next big thing we are tracking. We could see a line of storms impact the area Friday afternoon, Friday evening. So we're gonna have to watch the weekend for some stronger storms, maybe some vivid lightning, and maybe some hail with some of those storms as well. But more on that coming up shortly. Till then, we're looking at lots of heat, mid upper 80s, and then a first alert for some showers this weekend. So it's going to be a little unsettled and a little toasty around the area. All right, now I've got Lauren. She's here to talk a little bit beyond the 7-day. What to expect, Lauren?
Well, Matt, kind of not much changing.
Okay.
We'll be honest. Yeah, we're still seeing that warm, unsettled weather.
Okay.
Right?
I feel like we're going to be saying this now that we're just getting closer to summer. It's just going to be hot, right?
Right, exactly. Beyond the 7-day, we'll let you guess. Maybe there will be a prize involved.
Right,
There will be no
right,
prizes.
right.
So, sorry. We don't get prizes. You don't get prizes either. So, let's look at that forecast as we're heading into the latter half of May. This is the temperature outlook 8 to 14 days from now. This is looking at May 18th through May 22nd. And this is actually, 6 to 10 days from now. But it is showing that here across the Gulf Coast, we are still seeing the possibility of above average temperatures in the extended forecast. Now, obviously, the past several days, we've been under the influence of that upper level low. And oftentimes when you have that upper level disturbance in play, it leads to cloudy conditions, rainy conditions, and that just helps to keep temperatures down. But it looks like we're finally going to be seeing some changes in the forecast. I'm not saying we're seeing triple digit heat or anything like that, but certainly warmer than average temperatures. And you'll see as far as that precipitation outlook as well, we could still be seeing some unsettled weather, above average precipitation still expected as we head into the middle of May. So let's just take a little peek beyond the 7-day, looking at the future cast. And as always, this is not the gospel, but can give us a general idea of how the pattern could evolve. So this is looking at next Tuesday, May 20th. It still shows this feature that we think is going to be developing later this week, a ridge of high pressure building over the Gulf. And so So what can happen sometimes when you sit on the northern periphery of this ridge, you can get these little disturbances to come in from the north. They either come in from the northwest or the west, and so they can sometimes bring more clusters of showers and storms, which we could be seeing going into this weekend. But generally, it looks like maybe through the middle of next week, a little bit drier before we see that possibility of more storm clusters coming in from the northwest. So just generally seeing maybe later next week, the possibility of a little dip, more of that northwest flow that could bring in the possibility of more storms. So we're talking about it getting warmer, and May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Health experts are giving tips on how to enjoy the warm weather while also staying safe. Fox News correspondent Chanley Painter has more.
As more people head outside to enjoy the nicer weather, health experts warn of potential risks coming from the sun.
You need to make sure that you're cognizant of what times you're going out. If you go out in between the hours of 10 and 2, the sun is at its highest, so it's going to probably be a little bit more drastic or problematic for your skin.
Warnings from doctors come during May's Skin Cancer Awareness Month, a health issue that is becoming more concerning in the U.S.
In the last 20 years, they say that 1 out of 5 Americans will experience a skin cancer at some point in time in their life.
While skin cancer is becoming very common among Americans, the American Cancer Society says it is often treatable as long as it is caught early.
If you delay the diagnosis of a skin cancer, it has the potential to become malignant, and they can lead to death, especially with melanomas.
Dermatologists like Desmond Shipp at The Ohio State University say people should be going outside often to enjoy the warmer temperatures, but they must also make sure they are using proper protection from the sun as well.
You just need to make sure you're using a broad spectrum sunscreen, SPF of 30 or greater.
Shipp says certain clothes are also UV protective to keep your skin safe from the sun's harsh rays.
So you want to make sure you're keeping yourself protected. Wide brim hats, long sleeve shirts, sunscreen, UV protected sunglasses is very, very important.
Shipp also says all ethnicities can be affected by skin cancer, making it important for everyone to stay protected from the sun. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
How's it starting to bloom?
Oh my God.
All right, welcome back to Weather Extra. And, looking at that 7-day, Lauren, we got another chance for some scattered showers and storms tomorrow, but the rain chances back off a little bit. The heat goes up. So, and the weekend, we're watching that rain. You're getting married this weekend, so we're really focusing on that weekend. Hopefully, we get some dry weather.
Yeah, but knowing our luck with weekends around here, Matt, we're not going to take any chances.
But hey, that's why we're here. We're going to keep you on your side, watching the weather.
We'll be back here tonight for updates on First at 9.